Hey everyone. All right, just a quick video. Very slowly starting to get the car wired back up again. Once again, many more changes. Damn, I hope this is the final incarnation of this thing somewhat. Wiring, I am really taking my time. All Deutsch connectors, making a proper harness for the thing this time. But anyways, I kind of wanted to show off these taillights a little bit. This one here, I already tested. I gotta flip it upside down. It's kind of a sequential, and it's going the wrong way. So you can kind of see this is what turn signal is gonna do. Of course, I'm just tapping it, but it'll be connected to the flasher. So that's kind of cool. Driving light. That'll be the driving light. Be on all the time. Then you got the brighter for the brake light. So driver, brake. So that's what's happening in the back of the car. And I don't have a lead or my jump box in here that's close enough, and I don't feel like pulling the battery back out. The headlights are really cool. Give me a minute and I'll come back and I'll try and get you something on the headlights as well. But I will walk you around real quick. Man, oh man, is this thing a mess. Ay. So, things are going to change. Battery used to be down in the cubby. I've brought that up. It's now mounted at the rear of the car. I got rid of the 16-gallon fuel cell, going with a 5. Still got to make my cross braces for the 5. It's going to be elevated. You can kind of see down here I have a fuse from my direct feed from the alternator, which is number 4 wire, and I got some big ass shit from work off the old forklift that is my main power and grounds, and of course the 2 small power and grounds that you see, those are for the Holly. Coming inside, whoo, man, it's a disaster. But it's kind of that looking too shabby. So I do have pass-through bolt connectors in the floor. So power negative right from the battery feed to those. They're going to power my relay board. So I will have positive and negative direct battery feed off the relay board. You can kind of see the Holly harness coming into the car. What you can't hardly see is, maybe barely, up under the dashboard in the center right over transmission hump. That is the CAN input-output and the Terminator X. But got the shifter mounted, got the air solenoid on it, the MAC valves mounted to the front, parachute handles mounted with a stop. So all that stuff is slowly coming along. Garage is an utter disaster as always. Never fails. Let's see. I'm gonna go around the front. So wiring, this car's a real pain in the butt. So we did have to lengthen some harness and shorten some harness, especially TPS, IAC harness. Those were way out of whack. Thankfully, I managed to get almost everything shoved under the intake, pretty much for the most part. Still have to run my alternator wires into the car yet, and everything else is pretty much buttoned up. I am going to shorten my coil extensions. These are obscenely too long, and I'm getting rid of the shit plastic loom on them as well. I hate that. If nobody has seen, that's the new name of the car, Doom Buggy. I got no labels. I might put those back on, I might not. It's pretty self-explanatory. Hey, shout out to Ken and his brother Matt. Big shout out to Justin and Kyle at J&S Performance as well while I'm on there. And Burn Down on YouTube. Go check him out. So anyways, coming around, piping's done, piping's coated, everything is mounted and secured. I do have to adjust throttle cable a little bit. It's a little shy of a full pull on it. Headlights. These are what I'm using for the headlights. So they're pretty cool. High beam, low beam, of course. They have a halo around the outside, which is kind of the square you see here, that is white, but it's kind of like a switchback. So this round outside halo actually is the amber turn signal as well. So I think that looks far better than the redneck light bar that was mounted under the intercooler. So another change, of course, you've seen everything's Cerakoted black. Piping, hot side is Cerakoted. Cold side piping, this is Cerakote on this side. This in the intercooler is just a paint. But the housings are done, both the hot side and the cold side. Elbow and intake Cerakoted, as well as valve covers. And man, I don't know what else. It seems like I've been working my ass off, but I've gotten essentially nowhere. Oh, so the inside of the car actually is a Raptor liner in a can. It's a little pricey. It don't go as far as you think it does, so you do need more. This was about 2.5 cans. It's just enough. It leaves a little bit of texture. Leaves a nice color, and it won't fade. It won't rub off. That was my big thing with the paint. It always rubbed off. It looked like ass in there. So things are sort of coming along slowly but surely. Like I said, summer's here now. It's going to start raining every afternoon. So that's kind of good. I won't be able to get to the track very often. So now's the time to just slow down, I guess, and as much as I want to get it done. Oh, I'm still waiting on my fuel pump. I had one ordered. It wasn't the one I thought it was. So I'm going with an Aeromotive brushless spur gear, and it's a 5 gallon per minute. So I wanted the one that was a truly variable speed that runs off the throttle position sensor to alternate the speed of the pump. The one that I initially got was not. It was either it was on low speed or it was on high speed all the time. And I want the variable. Not that I drive this thing a ton on the street, but I want to be able to take it to a cruise in or something like that and not have the pump singing full bore the whole time, or having to flip a switch and rewire and yada, yada, yada to slow it down so I don't overheat the fuel. But everything come out really good. I mean, the piping looks good. Turbo. I think the intake come out pretty cool. Car's filthy. See the dust on the window. Surprised nobody's drawn a cock and balls on there yet, just to be a smart ass. Other than that, not much. Just wiring. You name it. That table's a disaster. Wires. Wiring supplies. Don't forget the Iron City. Good stuff. Not really, but it works. This is my gauge panel. So just got done doing Deutsch connector on this. Getting that simplified, cleaned up. So pretty basic. Got USB charge ports, Terminator X display, 200 mile an hour GPS speedometer. That'll be interesting. This here I'm using for my shift light. Voltage indicator, of course, oil, boost. And yeah, that's about it for right now, guys. A lot of stuff's got done, even though it don't look like it. I mean, all the wires are under the car, secured. It has the new trans blanket on it. Plug wires are on. I mean, it's literally, I could probably get the thing to fire up tomorrow, if need be, just to hear it. But I'm just going to keep plugging along, make sure everything's in and done right, and not try to rush through something just to hear it. I've heard the car before. I miss it, but I've heard it before. Oh shit, really can't fire it up anyways. I don't have a fuel pump. What am I thinking? What am I going to run on? Well, I can run it on brake clean. That's always good for it. Anyways, so back to fuel side of the car. So where the battery was at the beginning of this video, down inside that cubby. Down in that hole right there. That's where the pump's going to go now. And I kind of, sort of, I don't know if you can see anything up under there or not. Probably not. But under the tank with it raised up, I can run both of my filters. They're going to come out of there. 210 feeds going into a single 12. And just so you guys can see, I mean, a 12 is it's a good size fitting. 210s in, 12 out to the pump. That'll reside down in this cubby. And then it runs a 10 line all the way up to the fuel rails. I have not decided if I'm going passenger side or driver side. I used to have everything on the driver's side. I think this time I might end up seeing that the pump's already over here. I'm more than likely probably going to run on the passenger side. That way I don't have to try and run over the top of the rear end, the drive shaft, and all that. I like to keep everything out of there as best I can. I do have all my battery cables running along the tunnel on the inside, but everything is protected pretty well. It's well out of the way behind all the loops. I don't know if you can even really see in here, but there is a fabric protector. Yeah, you can't even really see it in there. Covering the wires too, so it's like an anti-abrasive sleeving, polyester sleeving, I guess. It's a polyester, like a heavy. It almost feels like the racing harnesses, the 5-point harness, except it's a sleeve you could put everything through. As you can see, I've been, good Lord, playing with positioning, moving stuff, and you would think this car would be really easy to mount stuff to because there's nothing in the way. But nothing in the way also means you have less things to attach to. So it's been somewhat of a challenge. But we're getting it. It'll get there. And that's it for now. I guess I'll update again once I get further ahead on the wiring. I get the relay board actually mounted back up under the dash. And we'll pick it up from there. Until then, going to keep plugging along. It's summer in Florida. It's hot as hell. Thank God for AC in the garage and cold beer in the fridge. See you guys.